In ancient Egypt, women mixed crocodile dung into a paste, inserted it before sex, and swore it stopped a pregnancy every single time. You'd assume ancient people had no way to control pregnancy, simply leaving everything up to chance, luck, or nature's decision alone. Actually, from early tribes to the Roman Empire, humans experimented constantly with plants, timing, and ritual to prevent pregnancy on purpose. Come with Kate as she walks you through every era, every plant, and every strange method humans tried long before modern medicine existed. Long before written history, women relied on prolonged breastfeeding, since nursing a child naturally delayed the return of fertility for months. Some hunter-gatherer women chewed the seeds of wild carrot, a plant modern researchers still study for genuine contraceptive properties today. Many tribes believed timing sex to the moon's phase controlled fertility completely, tying the body's cycle directly to the sky above. Here's the part historians still argue about, whether these early herbal methods were careful science or simply hopeful guesswork passed between women. Somewhere along the way, someone figured this out, and entire civilizations began building far more deliberate recipes of their own. In Egypt, a woman documented on papyrus mixed crocodile dung with fermented honey, inserted as a barrier before sex began. You'd be handed a thick paste of acacia gum to insert before sex, unaware it contained a real, functioning spermicidal acid. Now here's where it gets interesting. Egyptian healers paired these remedies with spoken spells, treating the recipe as medicine and magic combined. Picture explaining to a modern doctor that your birth control involves crocodile dung, honey, and a spell whispered over the mixture. That same papyrus scroll would later inspire an entirely different civilization, one that turned contraception into an actual matter of national wealth. In ancient Greece, a plant called silphium was so effective at preventing pregnancy that entire ships sailed to Cyrene just to trade it. But that's not the wild part. Silphium became so valuable that it was eventually harvested into complete and permanent extinction. The city of Cyrene stamped silphium's heart-shaped seed pod directly onto its coins, proud of the plant that built its entire economy. Now consider what this really meant. Humanity may have driven its single most effective ancient contraceptive to extinction through sheer demand. With silphium gone, Greek physicians turned to other herbs entirely, and that knowledge would soon travel directly into the Roman world. Roman women drank pennyroyal tea and relied on carefully timed withdrawal, methods a physician named Soranus described in surprising, practical detail. Here's the detail nobody expects. Soranus's ancient medical guide reads less like superstition and more like an actual practical manual. Alongside real methods, Roman women also wore small amulets and spoke protective charms, blending genuine medicine with hopeful, superstitious ritual. One widely read Roman scholar insisted a woman could avoid pregnancy simply by spitting 3 times after sex. No herbs required. But there's a catch. Far to the east, an entirely different empire was experimenting with methods dramatically more dangerous than spit. In imperial China, some women swallowed mercury-based potions believed to prevent pregnancy, unaware they were slowly poisoning their own bodies. Turns out the truth is even stranger. Some royal concubines were reportedly given mercury deliberately, right after every single encounter. Chinese medicine framed fertility through the balance of yin and yang, and imbalance was blamed for pregnancies that weren't wanted. Imagine this. An entire ancient method built on repeated mercury poisoning was somehow considered safer than simply talking openly about pregnancy. Word of these dangerous methods never reached medieval Europe directly, yet a strikingly similar fear of the female body did. Medieval women passed down herbal recipes using tansy, pennyroyal, and wild carrot seed, knowledge shared quietly between midwives and mothers alike. The church declared this knowledge sinful and dangerous, insisting fertility belonged entirely to God's will and never to a woman's choice. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Women accused of witchcraft were sometimes punished specifically for possessing this exact herbal knowledge. Here's what actually happened next. Entire generations of midwives quietly hid this knowledge, passing it in whispers instead of writing. For centuries, Most people assumed none of these old recipes actually worked at all, dismissing them entirely as folklore and superstition. You'd assume every single one of these ancient tricks was pure superstition, easily dismissed by modern medicine with a simple laugh. Now here's the twist most people never hear. Modern lab testing found real spermicidal compounds inside acacia gum and wild carrot seed. And once you know this, everything else makes more sense. Ancient women weren't guessing blindly. They were running real reproductive science. That crocodile dung paste was never random. It was one of humanity's very first attempts at reproductive science, centuries before any lab existed.